Tony D and Little Joan somewhere in the house, and this is a screenwriter's rant on The Thicket, starring Peter Dinklage and Juliette Lewis. I'm not sure what time period this takes place. It looks like the Wild West, but there's a motorcycle in it, so it might be a post-apocalyptic world. But it looks kind of badass. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 14, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. There's only one motorcycle right in the beginning of this thing, and then it's mostly just horses and stuff. So maybe it takes place in a sliver of time right when motorcycles are relatively new, or again, it could be post-apocalyptic. But Juliette Lewis is the badass in this. She's the villain. And she kills a bunch of people and then kidnaps this dude's sister. And Peter Dinklage is the bounty hunter that will save her. I don't know who this is. That dude looks super familiar. Who the hell is he? Is that Jimmy Pesto? Oh, man, that might be him. But it may just take place in a remote region of the world where they didn't have super available access to the technology at the time. So they were still mostly doing horses, even though cars were kind of becoming a thing. So it's very interesting. Yeah, I don't know. The only two actors I know are Peter Dinklage and Juliette Lewis. And Juliette Lewis looks rough in this. I mean, she's supposed to. That's her. Didn't even recognize her. Didn't even recognize her watching the damn thing until they said it. See, that looks like her. But they uglied her up for this. But she's a good actress, so I'm very interested in seeing this. I like Peter Dinklage still, despite his various wacky comments. September 6th. And he seems like he's playing a solid character. He's playing a dude who's a bounty hunter, and everybody underestimates him, obviously, because of his size, and he's still able to do stuff, but he also has an assistant. This dude here on the right. So I'm wondering what time period this takes place in. Yeah, because everybody's on horseback. The guns look very vintage. Everything's very vintage, except maybe the clothes and this motorcycle. I don't know. What year was the oldest motorcycle? I guess would have been maybe the late... No, it couldn't have been the late 1800s. Could it? I don't know. And then here, I don't know. But maybe early 1900s. Maybe it's like 1920s in Alberta, Canada, somewhere where like they have almost no cars, but like the technology's there. So, yeah. It looks pretty cool. It looks like a cool sort of more modern looking Western, I guess you would say. And Peter Dinklage isn't like, you know, in some of the movies I've seen him in, he's like chewing the scenery like there's no tomorrow. In this, he's playing it straightforward. So in this scene, he asked the dude, "You ever shoot a man?" And the guy says, "No, I'm a Christian." And then he says, "There's 3 people coming. I guess it's 3 against 3. And Dinklage goes, 2 against 3. You're a Christian, remember?" So that was a pretty good line. So yeah, I think it could be good. I would see it. The Thicket. So first act, I guess this dude on the left, his family gets set upon by bandits led by Juliette Lewis. And for some reason, she ends up leaving him go, or he escapes, and the sister is kidnapped for whatever reason. Meanwhile, Peter Dinklage is doing his bounty hunter thing with his trusty sidekick, and he hires him for $10,000 to bring his sister back. And so they team up and they go to get her. In the second act, they're tracking her, and then they're fighting the bandits, trying to get her back. And the third act is the confrontation between Juliette Lewis and Peter Dinklage in a bar somewhere. And the line, again, some good lines. The line is, "You're the tiniest man I've ever seen." And he turns to her and says, "And you're the ugliest." So that's a pretty good line. Let's see. And it's called The Thicket. Not sure what that's a reference to. I assume sort of the frontier. West Texas. Okay, it's West Texas. A boy who, after his sister is kidnapped by a violent killer known as Cutthroat Bill, and that's Juliette Lewis, enlists a fierce bounty hunter named Reginald Jones, who becomes the leader of the group of outcasts searching for the stolen girl. Okay, so it's West Texas. Interesting. Still pretty remote place. Elliot Lester directs. Chris Kelly and Joe R. Lansdale co-writes it. Is this comic book dude Joe R. Lansdale? I think it is. Yeah. Oh, this dude's good. And I guess he wrote Mask of the Phantasm. Bubba Hotep. Oh, man, this is going to be a good movie. I've just upped my desire to see this by a whole lot. Because Joe R. Lansdale is writing. He used to write Grim Jack, one of my favorite comics of all time. Oh, yeah. The Thicket. You're damn right I'm going to see this movie now. Yeah. Okay. That's it for me, Tony D. And Little Joan somewhere in the house. Thanks for tuning in. I got to get back to editing Book 15 of the Pineys. Dropping hopefully in the next 3 days. Now that I have the cover, I just got to put it all together. Check me Wednesday at the Farmstead from 3 to 5 for my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. And then especially at Millville Public Library, 6:30 for my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. That one's open to the public. I'll be at Unexpected Farm on Friday at 7 o'clock for family game night. They're going to do some kind of game with the alpacas, and then I will be giving my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. Hope to see you there. We'll see you tomorrow.